with the warning bell turned on. You need to be here when the next bomb drops. Okay, let's get into it. We have to start with this register because this is the smoking gun that proves Janelle is gone. Gone. Internet sleuths who honestly deserve to be on the FBI payroll found a wedding registry under a pseudonym. Now, we can't confirm the exact name used to protect her privacy, but the delivery address links back to a spot associated with the man rumored to be Janelle's new partner. And let me tell you, this is not a list for a woman who plans on living in a trailer on Kody Pass ever again. For years, we watched Janelle scrape by driving that fifth wheel, living in survival mode, and acting that camping gear was fine china because she was trying to save money for the family pot. That era is finally over. The things on this list are jaw-dropping. We aren't seeing basic kitchenware from a big box shop. We are talking about high-end imported things that scream wealth. There is a full collection of LaCroix cookware and a custom color palette that costs more than Kody's entire collection of gloves. We are seeing orders for fine bone china, not for 4 people, but service for 20. This tells us she is going to host. She is planning to have her children over, and she is planning to do it in style. There are ads for Egyptian cotton bedding with a thread count so high it would make Robin weep. Luxury spa equipment, and even high-tech smart home gadgets. This register is symbolic. It is a psychological break from the scarcity attitude Kody instilled in her for decades. Think about it. For 30 years, Janelle was the financial realistic one. She was the one saying, we can't afford this or we need to save for the land. She denied herself everything. Seeing her ask for and likely receive crystal stemware is her way of saying, I am worthy of nice things. It is a huge slap in the face to the narrative that she is just the worker bee. She is stepping into her queen bee era, and the internet is totally living for it. The comments on the forums where this leaked are extremely supportive, with people saying things like, buy her the whole store, and finally Janelle gets the mansion. But here is where the difference gets petty and delicious. While Janelle is registering for what looks like a palace upgrade, we have to look at what is going over at the McMansion. We have seen the pictures of Robin and Kody's place. The boxes, the clutter, the precious moments figures stacked to the ceiling. It looks heavy. It looks dusty. It looks like the past. Janelle's new style, judging by this registry, is sleek, modern, expensive, and clean. It depicts freedom. And Kody is seeing this. He is going through these screenshots, looking at the prices of these espresso machines, and realizing that the woman he called disloyal is about to live a life he can only dream of. He is stuck in a house filled with debt and clutter, while Janelle is starting new with a blank check. This massive upgrade is what likely caused the events of last night. This is where things go from fun talk to absolute legal nightmare. We have been hearing rumors for weeks that Janelle was planning a move. Not just a move across town, but a move out of Flagstaff completely to be with this new mystery man. And naturally, moving needs trucks. Big cars. Yesterday, onlookers reported seeing moving trucks pulling up to Janelle's rental property in Flagstaff. Now, usually a move is difficult, but standard. But when you are a Brown, nothing is standard. According to insider stories, Kody got wind of the move. Maybe he saw the trucks, maybe a neighbor tipped him off, or maybe he was just doing his regular drive-by patrol. But sources claimed that within an hour of the movers starting to load boxes, Kody's truck came screeching into the driveway and he was not there to say goodbye. The word on the street is that Kody was angry. He allegedly jumped out of his vehicle and started demanding the movers stop loading the truck. Can you imagine being a paid mover just trying to lift a sofa and this man with frantic hair comes running up to you screaming about covenant assets? The accusation Kody was reportedly throwing around is that Janelle was stealing family property. Now, let's stop and look at the absurdity of this. Janelle has worked for years. She has her own income sources from Plexus, Cameo, and the show. The things in her rental, the furniture, the electronics, the food storage were almost likely bought with her own money, especially since they have been financially separated for a while. But Kody, in his mind, thinks that anything bought while they were spiritually married belongs to the family, which we all know is code for Kody and Robin. Witnesses say Kody was pointing at specific items. He was allegedly yelling about a leather recliner, saying it was bought with family funds back in Vegas. He was screaming about the food storage in the garage, saying that prep goods belong to the entire family for the apocalypse, not just for Janelle to take to her new life. It is the height of pettiness. He wasn't fighting for Janelle. He was fighting for used furniture. It shows just how much power he has lost. He couldn't stop her from leaving mentally, so he tried to stop her from leaving physically by claiming ownership of a lamp. The situation allegedly escalated quickly. The movers, clearly confused and likely uncomfortable, stopped working. This is when the standoff started. Janelle, who is usually non-confrontational, allegedly came out of the house. But she wasn't the quiet, passive Janelle from season 1. Sources say she was holding a book. Yes, a literal binder of papers. She was ready. She knew he would do this. She knew he would try to nickel and dime her on the way out. She reportedly stood on the porch and told him to get off the property or she would call the police. But Kody, being Kody, didn't back down. He apparently pulled out his phone and threatened to call the police himself to report a theft in progress. Can you imagine the 911 operator taking that call? Yes. Hello. My spiritual ex-wife is taking her own toaster. Send backup. It is ridiculous, but at the moment it was incredibly tense. We have to remember, Kody has been falling. We have seen his anger on the show. We have seen him yell at the women. But stopping a moving truck is a new level of desperation. It screams, I am losing power. And this is where the idea of the $1 million registry links back in. Kody knows he can't provide the lifestyle Janelle is moving toward. He knows he can't buy her that LaCruz set. So, he is holding to the old scraps. He wants the old stuff, because the old stuff represents the time when he was the king of the house. If he can keep her furniture, maybe he thinks he can keep a piece of her obedience. But Janelle wasn't having it. The trouble didn't stay between Kody and Janelle for long. And this is where the story gets truly dramatic. The boys were there. We know Janelle's sons are extremely protective of her. Garrison, Gabriel, Logan, Hunter, they have all had their issues with Kody, especially regarding how he treated their mother during CO. When Kody started yelling at Janelle on the porch, waving his arms, and accusing her of theft, the energy changed. It wasn't just a marital disagreement anymore. It was a confrontation between a father who abandoned his job and the sons who stepped up to fill the void. Reports say that Gabriel and Garrison were actually the ones organizing the load-in. They were treating this move like a military exercise. Efficient, fast, no nonsense. When Kody blocked the driveway with his truck, effectively trapping the U-Haul, the boys reportedly came out of the house. We are hearing that this was the moment the crime scene atmosphere set in, because neighbors were looking, phones were out recording, and the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. We have to talk about the asset accusation in more depth, because it reveals so much about Kody's financial panic. Why is he so concerned with Janelle's stuff? Because supposedly, the money is drying up. With Christine gone, Janelle gone, and Mary gone, and the family pot is basically empty. Robin's spending hasn't slowed down. If Janelle takes her assets, even just household things, it is a loss on Kody's balance sheet. He looks at a couch and sees dollar signs. He looks at a gym set and sees value he can't replace. He isn't sad. He is broke. Or at least he feels broke compared to the $1 million registry lifestyle Janelle is showing. The insiders are saying that Kody's biggest argument was about the gym equipment. We know Janelle loves her exercise. She has invested in good tools. Kody allegedly claimed that since he used the equipment rarely, or since it was bought during the marriage, he had a claim to it. He wanted to split the gym equipment or be paid for it. Imagine the arrogance. You are standing in the driveway of the woman you ignored for years, demanding she pay you for a treadmill while she is trying to escape your toxicity. But Janelle's binder of papers is the real MVP here. The idea circulating is that Janelle has been preparing for this exit financially for 2 years. She separated her funds. She kept receipts for every single large buy. She knew Kody would try to claim common property, so she made sure everything big was in her name, paid for from her personal business account. So when Kody threatened to call the cops, she reportedly told him, "Go ahead. I have the proof right here." This standoff lasted for what felt like hours according to neighbors. The moving truck was idle. Kody was pacing back and forth on the sidewalk, making phone calls, probably to Robin, giving her the play-by-play. "She's taking the blender, Robin. She's taking the good towels." It is sad, but it is also scary. It shows a man who has totally lost his grip on reality. He truly thinks he is the victim here. He thinks that these women leaving him is a crime against him, and therefore he is entitled to damages. And let's not forget the insider news factor that we have to treat carefully. There are stories, and I stress rumors, that Kody actually tried to physically close the back of the moving truck himself, that he put his hands on the door and tried to pull it down. That is the level of mania we are talking. If that is true, it is a miracle that things didn't get physical between him and the boys. This leads us to the most heartbreaking yet heroic part of the evening, the intervention of the kids. We are going to get into exactly what Gabriel and Garrison did and how a new figure entered the scene to shut Kody down totally. But first, we need to understand the risks. This wasn't just about moving boxes. This was about Janelle's freedom. And Kody was the final boss fight she had to get through to reach the next level. The $1 million wish list is not just a list of gifts. It is a manifesto. It says, "I am done with mediocrity." And Kody's blocking of the truck is his manifesto. It says, "You are property, and you don't get to leave with value." But he forgot one thing. Janelle isn't alone anymore. She has an army of boys, and she has a new partner who, rumor has it, has very deep pockets and very little patience for Kody Brown's tantrums. We left off with Kody Brown pacing on the sidewalk, threatening legal action over used furniture, while Janelle stood her ground with a binder full of records. But the energy of the night changed drastically the moment Janelle's sons decided that enough was enough. This brings us to the most adrenaline-pumping part of the saga, the midnight move, or as the internet is calling it, the boys' military operation. If you know anything about the Brown family past, you know that Janelle raised her boys to be capable, independent, and fiercely loyal. But what happened last night wasn't just loyalty. It was smart. Sources close to the situation describe the scene as something out of a special ops mission. We have to remember that Garrison has a military past. He knows chain of command. He understands goals, and he understands threat assessment. And last night the threat was his own father. According to onlookers, once Kody blocked the road and started his tirade, a signal seemed to pass between Logan, Hunter, Garrison, and Gabriel. They didn't scream back. They didn't participate in the drama Kody was so desperate to create. Instead, they went totally silent. It is a psychological technique known as gray rocking. And it is the most successful way to deal with a narcissist. Kody was yelling, demanding to check boxes, demanding to see what was in the back of the truck. And the boys simply worked around him. Witnesses say the boys made a literal human chain. They positioned themselves in a way that literally blocked Kody from getting anywhere near the loading ramp of the U-Haul. Imagine the image of this. Kody, who loves to preach about being the patriarch and the leader, was being physically walled off by the very boys he abandoned. He was trying to push past Gabriel to get to a box of kitchen goods. And Gabriel, who we know has deep, unresolved pain regarding Kody forgetting his birthday, simply stood there. He didn't move. He didn't move. He just stared his father down. The stress was suffocating. One neighbor reportedly reported hearing Kody yell, "I command you to move." Classic Kody, trying to use religious authority that he lost years ago. And Gabriel's answer? Silence. He just turned his back and hoisted another box onto the truck. It was the ultimate insult. It wasn't just about moving stuff anymore. It was the boys showing that Kody has zero power over them. He isn't the head of the family, he is just a noisy obstacle in the road. But the plan got even more sophisticated. We are getting reports that Hunter and Logan, the older boys, were coordinating the logistics with a speed that was blinding. They were removing beds and wrapping furniture in record time, almost as if they were running against a clock. And in a way, they were. They knew Kody's erratic behavior could worsen. They knew Robin was likely on the phone. In Kody's ear, feeding the fire, telling him not to let them take family assets. So speed was their tool. They were stripping the house bare before Kody could even figure out what was happening. There is a specific fact that has the internet buzzing. Rumor has it that Kody tried to grab a specific item from Garrison's hands, a big heavy toolbox. Kody claimed these were his tools that he had lent to Janelle years ago. Garrison, without saying a word, allegedly opened the toolbox, dumped the contents onto the lawn, and threw the empty metal box at Kody's feet. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated defiance. He was saying, "Keep your rusty tools, old man. We are building a new life." Kody was left standing there with wrenches scattered on the grass while Garrison marched back into the house to get the things that actually counted. This midnight move shows that the family structure has completely inverted. Kody used to be the kid they all orbited around. Now, he is a stranger looking in. The boys were operating as a unit, a brotherhood, and their only goal was extract mom. They were treating Janelle like a VIP asset that needed to be secured and moved to safety. It is heartbreaking that it had to come to this, that a woman moving house had to feel like a secret extraction mission. But it also shows just how great of a mother Janelle has been. She poured into those boys, and now when she needed them most, they became her security detail. But if you think the boys standing up to Kody was the peak of the night, you are wrong. That was just the warm-up. The real fireworks started when a sleek black luxury SUV turned the corner and pulled up onto the grass, bypassing Kody's blockade completely. This takes us to the twist that nobody saw coming, the new in-laws stepping up. For months, we have heard rumors about Janelle's new man. We have heard he is rich, we have heard he is kind, and we have heard he is everything Kody is not. But last night, reports say he, or at least his presence, made a tangible showing. As Kody was yelling at the movers and the boys were loading the truck, this black SUV arrived. The driver wasn't instantly visible, but the authority radiating from the vehicle was palpable. Kody naturally was distracted. He stopped yelling at Janelle for a second to stare at this car. It was a vehicle that cost more than Kody's full fleet of impractical sports cars combined. It was a sign of the million-dollar lifestyle Janelle is marrying into. Now, there are conflicting stories on who exactly stepped out of the car. Some ideas suggest it was the fiancé himself, while others suggest it was a representative or a close friend of the fiancé sent to escort Janelle. But for the sake of the story that insiders are pushing, let's go with the most explosive version being circulated. A man stepped out. He was cool. He was dressed well. No gloves, no visor, just trust. He walked right past Kody like he didn't even exist. He didn't recognize the screaming, the tantrum, or the drama. He walked straight up to Janelle, who was standing by the porch, looking exhausted and worried. Kody, seeing another man on what he calls his turf, allegedly lost it. He started puffing his chest out, doing that aggressive walk he does, trying to frighten the newcomer. He reportedly yelled something along the lines of, "Who are you? This is a family matter, and this is where the million-dollar flex happened." This is the moment that needs to go down in reality TV history. The new man didn't yell back. He didn't get into a testosterone-fueled screaming match. He simply turned to the movers who were dealing with a heavy older sofa that Kody had been fighting over. The movers were frozen, caught between Kody screaming, "That's mine," and Janelle saying, "Load it." The new man allegedly raised a hand, silenced the chaos, and said 5 words that destroyed Kody Brown's ego forever. He looked at the movers, pointed to the old furniture, and said, "Leave it. I'll buy her better." Let that sink in. Leave it. I'll buy her better. It wasn't a discussion. It was a firing. He was telling Kody, you are fighting over scraps. You are fighting over used, depreciating assets because that is all you have. My woman, she doesn't need your old couch. She doesn't need your dusty treadmill. She is getting brand new everything. It was the ultimate power move. It shamed Kody's penny pinching in a way that no argument ever could. Kody has spent years controlling the wives through money, holding resources over their heads, making them feel like they should be happy for the bare minimum. And in one sentence, this new man made Kody's financial control totally irrelevant. The response, according to sources, was instant silence. Kody allegedly stopped yelling. His mouth was literally open. He looked from the old couch to the new man, then to Janelle. He realized in that split second that he had lost. He wasn't just losing a wife, he was losing the story. He could no longer say he was the provider. He was being out-provided by a magnitude of 10. And Janelle, the witnesses say this was the moment she broke. Not a breakdown of sadness, but a breakdown of joy. She started crying. For 30 years, she has had to fight for every scrap. She had to fight for fair time, fight for grocery money, fight for a plot of land on Coyote Pass that never got developed. And here was a man standing in front of her, telling her she didn't need to fight anymore, that she would be taken care of, that the battle was over. The movers, sensing the shift in power, allegedly put the sofa back down on the driveway. They didn't load it. They left it right there, sitting on the sidewalk, a monument to Kody's greed. The new fiancé's family, according to deeper leaks from the Registry investigation, has reportedly already purchased the full $1 million registry as a welcome gift. The ruse, the crystal, the bedding, it is all waiting for her at the new house. They didn't need the old stuff. The old stuff carried the energy of the past, the energy of a marriage that drained her. Leaving it behind was mental cleansing. After the leave-it order was given, the scene moved quickly. The boys, understanding they didn't need to load the heavy furniture anymore, switched gears. They grabbed the sentimental items, the picture albums, the personal keepsakes, the things that actually hold value to the heart. They put those into the SUV and the front of the truck. Kody was left standing in the garage with a pile of used furniture that he had won. But as he stood there surrounded by a sofa, a chair, and some gym weights, he looked incredibly small. He had won the fight for the stuff, but he had lost the war for his family. He was standing in a tomb of his own making. The new in-laws didn't just step up financially, they stepped up personally. By telling Janelle to leave the stuff behind, they gave her permission to let go of the trauma related to it. It was a message. You are safe now. You don't need to hoard materials, you don't need to live in shortage. As Janelle walked toward the black SUV to leave, Kody allegedly tried one last desperation tactic. He reportedly shouted, "You're breaking up the family. You're destroying the covenant." It's the same old song he sang to Christine. But this time, nobody turned around. Janelle didn't stop going. Gabriel didn't look back. They got into their vehicles. The image of Kody Brown, the patriarch, standing alone in a driveway at midnight, guarding a pile of used furniture while his wife drives off in a luxury car to a mansion. It is the poetic justice we have been waiting 18 seasons to see. It is Shakespearean, and we have to talk about the deeper implications of this specific $1 million registry. Why did it trigger Kody so badly? Because it represents a life he promised but never delivered. Remember the blueprints for the big house? Remember the dreams of the family compound? Kody always sold them a dream of grandeur. We will build. We will have a legacy. But he couldn't execute. He squandered the money. He made bad investments. He let Robin drain the accounts. Janelle's registry is a mirror. It shows Kody exactly what he failed to provide. A stable, high-quality, abundant home. When he saw those items, the $500 blender, the $1,000 espresso machine, he didn't see kitchen appliances. He saw his own failure as a man and a husband, and that is why he attacked. Narcissists hate mirrors. They hate anything that reflects their inadequacy back at them. The fact that the new fiancé could swoop in and provide that lifestyle effortlessly is the final nail in the coffin of Kody's ego. He can't compete, and he knows it. That is why he resorted to calling the police. That is why he tried to block the truck. When you can't win the game, you try to flip the board over. But the new fiancé just bought a new board. This entire sequence of events, the midnight move, the gray rocking suns, the luxury car arrival, the leave it command, it paints a picture of a woman who is not just leaving, but transcending. Janelle is ascending. She is rising out of the mud of Coyote Pass and stepping into a world where she is cherished, protected, and spoiled. But wait, because the story doesn't end in the driveway, there is another layer to this. Cameras. We mentioned earlier that this felt cinematic, and there is a reason for that. We have strong reason to believe that TLC was there. The production crew has been filming the fallout of the separations, and a move of this magnitude. You bet they had a crew nearby. Maybe not right in the driveway to interfere, but capturing the aftermath. This leads us into our final segment, where we are going to discuss the Exodus episode, the footage that TLC is sitting on, and the final visual of Janelle leaving Flagstaff in the rearview mirror. We are also going to touch on the aftermath. What happened to that furniture Kody saved? Did he drag it back to Robin's? Did it end up in a landfill? And most importantly, we will discuss the final geographic divorce that seals the deal. You are not going to believe the reports coming out about Kody's behavior immediately after the taillights disappeared. It involves a phone call to Robin that was overheard by neighbors, and it is absolutely unhinged. We are now in the aftermath. The taillights of the black SUV and the moving truck have faded into the darkness. The boys are gone. Janelle is gone. And Kody Brown is left standing in the driveway of a rental house he doesn't own, guarding a pile of used furniture that his ex-wife didn't even want. But here is the piece of the puzzle that turns this from a private family dispute into a global spectacle. The cameras were rolling. We have received exclusive intel suggesting that TLC production crews were present in Flagstaff during this exact time frame. Now, they may not have been standing right next to Kody's truck to avoid legal issues with the police, but insiders believe they captured the arrival, the confrontation, and most importantly, the departure. Industry whispers are already naming this potential season opener the Exodus. Think about the storytelling arc. TLC knows they have struck gold. For years, the show was about the family coming together. Now the highest rated episodes are about the family blowing apart. Capturing Janelle's physical move, the moment she literally drives out of Kody's life, is the money shot. It is the visual representation of the end of an era. We can expect to see grainy night vision footage, frantic audio from Kody's microphone, which he almost certainly forgot to take off, and the confessional interviews that will be filmed months later, where Kody tries to spin this as him protecting the family estate. But let's talk about what happened immediately after Janelle left, because reports from neighbors give us a glimpse into Kody's psyche that is truly disturbing. Once the convoy was gone, Kody didn't just get in his truck and leave. Remember, he had won the furniture. He had successfully stopped the theft of the sofa. So, what did he do? Witnesses claim he immediately got on the phone, and he wasn't calling a moving company to help him with his prize. He was reportedly calling Robin. One neighbor who was walking their dog nearby alleges they heard Kody shouting into his phone, "I stopped them, Robin. I saved the assets. They tried to take everything, but I didn't let them. I saved the assets." He wasn't talking about saving his marriage. He wasn't talking about saving his relationship with his sons. He was talking about saving a used leather couch and some dumbbells. In his warped reality, this was a victory. He went home that night to the McMansion, probably expecting a hero's welcome from Robin. He likely walked into that cluttered house thinking he had defended the kingdom. But the reality is, he just became the custodian of more junk. There is a tragic irony here. Robin's house is already overflowing with boxes and investments like those precious moments figurines and art prints. Now, Kody has potentially added Janelle's old furniture to the pile. It's hoarding. It's not asset management, it's hoarding. He is hoarding the physical remnants of his past marriages because he can't accept that the people themselves have moved on. And while Kody was busy celebrating his victory over a recliner, Janelle was experiencing the drive of her life. Imagine that feeling. Driving down the highway, leaving Flagstaff behind. Flagstaff, the city where her marriage finally died. The city where she lived in an RV while Robin lived in a mansion. The city where her boys were disrespected and forgotten. Seeing the welcome to Flagstaff sign in the rearview mirror must have felt like taking off a tight shoe after 30 years. The rumors about the $1 million registry suggest that Janelle isn't just moving into a new house. She is moving into a new tax bracket. The destination. A private estate that is the complete opposite of Coyote Pass. Coyote Pass was a barren wasteland of broken promises, mud, prairie dog plague, and no infrastructure. Her new reality is rumored to be landscaped gardens, paved driveways, and a finished home with a running water and electricity that works. It is the thriving mode we have all been waiting for. And in this geographical divorce is the final step. We talk a lot about spiritual divorce in this community, but physical distance is the true closer. You can be spiritually divorced, but still stuck in the same town, running into each other at the grocery store. But when you move states, when you move to a place where your ex-husband has no jurisdiction, that is freedom. Kody can't drive by her house anymore. He can't patrol her driveway. He can't check to see who is visiting. He is blind. And for a control freak like Kody, that blindness is torture. Let's circle back to the $1 million registry one last time because it serves as the perfect metaphor for this entire situation. The registry wasn't about greed. It was about standards. Kody Brown is a man of low standards. He is content with chaos. He is content with unfairness. And he is content with mediocrity as long as he is the center of attention. Janelle raised her standards. She decided she wanted the L Crew life, not the paper plate life. The leaked items, the crystal, the high thread count sheets, the luxury appliances are the armor of her new life. Every time she uses that espresso machine, she will be reminded that she is worth it. Every time she sleeps on those sheets, she will be reminded that she doesn't have to suffer to be holy. The poverty gospel that Kody preached to keep his wife submissive has been debunked. And what about the boys? Gabriel, Garrison, Hunter, Logan. They are the real winners here. They successfully extracted their mother, they stood between her and the monster, and they won. They are no longer Kody's sons. They are Janelle's protectors. The respect they showed their mother during that move, contrasted with the disrespect Kody showed her, tells you everything you need to know about who the real men in the family are. Kody likes to talk about alpha males, but real alphas don't scream at their wives over furniture. Real alphas load the truck and get her to safety. As we look forward to the new season, this event is going to be the anchor. We are going to see the fallout. We are going to see Kody playing the victim, crying to Robyn about how Janelle robbed us. We will see Robyn dabbing her dry eyes, talking about how she wanted to sit on a porch with her sister wives while sitting on a porch cluttered with the stolen furniture of those very sister wives. But the audience knows the truth. We saw the receipts. We saw the registry. And thanks to these leaks, we know that Janelle didn't just leave. She leveled up. She traded a man who fights over used gym equipment for a man who says, "Leave it. I'll buy you better." This is the end of the sister wives era as we know it. The harm is gone. The patriarch is alone with his favorite wife and his boxes of stuff. And Janelle, she is somewhere popping champagne, surrounded by crystal, toasted by a man who actually cherishes her. I want to hear from you in the comments. This is the big question. Do you think Kody actually kept the old furniture? Is it sitting in Robyn's garage right now? And what do you think about the new fiancé's power move? Was "Leave it, I'll buy her better" the best line in reality TV history? Let me know your theories below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the $1 Million Registry and the moving truck standoff, please destroy that like button. It helps the channel so much and ensures I can keep bringing you these exclusive reports that the mainstream media is afraid to touch. Make sure you are subscribed to Coco Gossip, because when the photos of Janelle's new mansion leak, and they will leak, I will be the first one to break it down for you. Until next time, keep your standards high and your receipts handy. Bye.